Liebe Zuschauer, herzlich willkommen zu Inside Wall Street hier aus dem Studio der New York Stock Exchange. Ich bin Manuel Koch und bei mir ist heute Peter Cardillo of Rockwell Global Capital. Thank you for joining us today, Peter.
My pleasure to be back.
Peter, we saw the Apple stock Wednesday, Thursday under pressure, under $400, and we remember the all-time high last September, $700. So where are the $300?
Well, you know, psychologically that's a negative, and it's certainly weighing on the market. So there's a host of negative factors that are coming into play, and I believe the market is now in a corrective stage.
Do you expect if Apple would launch new products like an iWatch, iTV, that the stock will go up soon?
Well, I really don't comment on individual stocks, so I can just simply say that the market would look at whatever they come out with.
Mm-hmm. On Wednesday, we saw the beige book of the Fed. They see a slow recovery, but it's still slow when it comes to the unemployment data, but the housing market was better.
That's right. You know, there were two components that did quite nicely, and that is, of course, the automobile sector, which is the manufacturing sector, obviously, and we saw construction spending aiding the housing market in general. But if you really look at the number, if you really look at the beige book, you'll see that while it showed that the economy did slightly better, basically it indicates that the economy is slowing. And I think that negates the mixed talk that we've been getting out of the Feds, you know, about an early ending of the stimulants, QE3. And so, you know, if you look back, if we look at yesterday's numbers, the leading indicators, jobless claims, the Philadelphia Fed, basically pretty weak, and that's another indication that the economy is slowing. Now, that doesn't mean that we're headed for recession. I don't believe that's the case at all, but we are looking at slow growth, and that means that the Fed is going to continue to stimulate.
And the Fed also said that the consumer not spending enough money, so maybe this is also a result of the spending cuts we saw in early this year?
No question about it. No question about it. The tax hike and, of course, the automatic spending cuts are weighing. In fact, we can go back to the beige book, and you know, you see the defense sector was clobbered, and so that's having a negative effect.
We saw this week also the bomb attacks in Boston. You are here on the floor for so many years on Wall Street. You have seen 9/11, now this. Is this always an uncertainty which is bad for the market?
There's no question about it. You know, it poses an uncertain period, and of course, you know, just when you think that you may have overcome that problem, obviously something happens, and we saw that the other, you know, on Wednesday, on Tuesday when the attack took place. But again, you know, it didn't have a major impact when that news came out. It just accelerated the downward trend, but it's not really having a long-lasting effect as 9/11 did.
Could it have maybe an effect on the security market in the U.S.? Will we see more security on the airport?
Oh, absolutely. You know, again, anytime you have a terrorist attack, obviously, you know, controls get tighter, and the government, you know, is quite conscious of it. But the bottom line is, you're never gonna defeat terrorism. It's almost an impossible task. You can contain it, but you certainly can't win the battle.
Mm-hmm. We are in the middle of the earnings season. What do you think so far?
Well, so far it's been mixed, you know, and I think overall earnings are not going to be that great. And I think that's one more negative for the stock market in the short term. As I said at the beginning of the program, I think we're in a corrective stage. probably looking at the S&P inching down to around 1415, 1475 before stabilizing. But I think this corrective stage is necessary and actually healthy for the market. Bottom line is that once we do correct, there's still no place to put your money. And so I think at the end of the year, we're looking at much higher levels.
So you expect in the second half of the year a better rising market?
Absolutely.
And better earnings season?
Earnings, as long as we don't see earnings go into real negative territory, that is, as a whole, S&P actually coming on the negative side of things, that's a positive. So the bottom line is that we have low interest rates. They're not going anywhere for a while, and so there's no place to put your money.
Peter Cardillo of Rockwell Global Capital. Thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate your time. Und Ihnen, liebe Zuschauer, vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Wir sehen uns bald wieder hier aus dem Studio der New York Stock Exchange.